Let's record to the cloud. We are recording. Okay. Hey guys, thanks for jumping on to tonight's call. I am not Michael Huey. I am Chris Goodrow. I'm a Pro 4 out of Toledo, Ohio. Mike and Lisa are off having a little bit of fun tonight, and they said, could I take over to the call because they didn't want to cancel it. And I was happily to agree to do this. And I'm excited about tonight because Lisa said it's all on to me, whatever I wanted to do. Mike wanted me to teach duplication, but I think we're all kind of bored with that. We already know how to duplicate, right? So what I wanted to do was have just a little bit of fun, put some people on the spot, because a couple of weeks ago, Mike came up to Ohio and did a training for LVA. And what Mike talked about a lot was there was a why and then there was a what. And everybody in that room was kind of confused. They somewhat knew why they were doing it, but they didn't really know the what's to get to the why. And I don't know how many people have seen, there's this thing called The Golden Circle, and it's by Simon Sinek. Has anyone ever seen that at all or seen the video on YouTube? It's really incredible. Let me see if I can share something here. I don't do this too often, but I'm going to give it a try.
You're rocking it, Chris.
Let me see here. Okay, can you guys see that? What's on the computer screen?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, so this is what they call the Golden Circle. And what's really cool here is you guys can fill this out your own way in your own business. And we have what we do at, what we do at LifeVantage. What do we do at LifeVantage? We share education about Nerve 2 activation and some amazing products that can delay disease and reduce oxidative stress. How do we do it? We do it through presentations, we do third-party phone calls, we do it through tear-off sheets, and why we do it. That right there is obviously the part. We hear about why and all this stuff. So tonight I wanted to have a little fun. We kind of understand why we do it, but I like to really dive deeper into the why we do it. I like to get out there and just continue to ask questions with those people, because what I do with my distributors is I get them to, I literally get them to tell me, they say, well, I do it because I want to have a lake house. Well, we need to dive deeper into that. We need to know, where's the lake house going to be? What color is going to be the lake house? Are you going to have a deck on that lake house? Are you going to have friends there? What's it look like every single morning? What are you doing every morning? What are you doing every evening? We have to kind of expand on that more. And when you start doing that, you start to bring more people in. You start to really lock them in. They start understanding the vision. They start seeing it a lot better. And out of the LVA, I don't think maybe close to 80, 90 people. I bet you there was 5 people that could have told you that. That's it. And it's crazy when you're sitting in. There was one guy who was a Pro 6, Amish. I don't even know what to say, he says, but I'm a Pro 6. I'm like, how's this possible? Here we are struggling, grinding, trying, figuring out ways, buying webinars, doing all these trainings. And this guy's like, I don't even know what to say. I'm a Pro 6. I'm just going to start following his lead from now on. No phones, no TVs. And maybe it's because he doesn't have distractions. You know what I mean? Maybe it's because we do have these distractions. The Stanley Cup just got over. I didn't work on my business. I'll be honest with you. I wanted to watch St. Louis Blues win the Stanley Cup. So I watched the Stanley Cup, It's just some of those things. Now I have made sacrifices. I don't make sacrifices with my family when it comes to my daughter, my wife. I don't do that. They're a strong part of my why. I will tell you that 2 years ago when I was sitting in Florida, we just left the Coronado. If you guys remember, we had an EA there 2 years in a row. And I'm sitting on the bench waiting for my ride to pick me up to take me to the airport. And I just kept watching family after family come in. The big bus came in or taxis came in and they dropped off. And just the excitement and the smiles on their face and knowing that they're starting a week of fun and vacation and how amazing is it going to be. I sat there and said, I want that. I want that so bad. I want that every day. I want to experience and travel. And that's the kind of life. And what another why is my wife and I almost 20 years now. This month will be 19 years we've been married, but we've been together for 20. And we met very young. Thank you, Tracy. And Gatlinburg, Tennessee is our home, our second home. We're up in Ohio, but we love Gatlinburg. We were married there. We vacationed there. We took our daughter there about 4 years ago to experience it for the first time, and she loved it, and she wants to go back. But we're up in those mountains of the Smoky Mountains. We're in those cabins, and I said, now wouldn't it be awesome to every morning wake up in a cabin like this, and to own one and rent it out and still have a life in Ohio and still have a life here, and not have to focus on going to work every single day. And just that's a huge why. That's another part of my why, because it also creates residual income. You're renting out that cabin while you're not using it. You're bringing in money, by owning something, by renting. Fred knows all about that with the rental properties he owns. The rental properties are sitting there, and while he's sitting at home, people are paying him rent, and he's not there working at it. It's just a great way to continue with what we do at LifeVantage, with making money and continue to making money off of it by investing into something like that. And then it gives us as a family a chance to vacation and do what we want to do. So that's part of like my why. And I'm going to stop the share here and I'll mute everybody. And when I do, Tracy, I want to start with you, because you graciously said I would love to be the first guest, but I want you to dive into your why you're doing this. You have a great story. If a lot of people don't know about it, I want you to tell it a little bit. And I want you to really focus on getting deeper into it, and why you do it. And then what are you going to do to make the why become possible? What are your steps? So I'll mute everybody so we don't have any interruptions. And then once I do, Tracy, go ahead and unmute yourself and take it away. You unmute yourself, Tracy? There you go.
Did.
Okay, Tracy, why don't you go ahead and just give everybody a brief introduction about yourself and how long you've been at LifeVantage, and why you got started and why you're doing this business.
Okay. Right now, I think it's month 20, and why I got involved with LifeVantage is, for the people that don't know me, I have multiple sclerosis, and I've had multiple sclerosis for 23 years. And 20 months ago, I could not lift my left leg off the ground. And I went to see my neurologist, and he said to me, well, you've had MS for 20 some years, Tracy. You're going into secondary progressive MS. If anybody that knows about secondary progressive MS, or MS in general, that's not a good thing. And I looked at him and I said, so what are we going to do about that? And he looked at me and he said, nothing. I went, what do you mean nothing? He goes, that's just what it is. So basically he was telling me probably within the next 2 to 3 years, I would be wheelchair bound. And I have one that I use for distance, but I walk around my 750 square foot house without a cane, without my chair, without stuff. But basically he was telling me I was going to be bedridden and things like that. I was on an MS website and just venting, and somebody came on and friended me and said, I heard what you had to say. I feel really bad for you. I might have something that could help you. Are you interested in looking? Well, as you can see, I'm a girl. Girls will look because it's free. It doesn't cost any money to look. So, well, that's what I find anyway, or that's been my self. Now, this is not the first product in my MS history that I've been shown and told it's a magic fix. And this is not a magic fix, and I was not told that. I was told it would reduce oxidative stress. Well, then I started doing my own research. No doctor in 23 years told me that MS had oxidative stress in it, which pissed me off, excuse my language, or made me very angry. So I said, yes, send me a bottle now. And within 2 weeks, I could feel something was happening in my body. And I looked at my son and I said, how much money do you have in the bank? Because I knew my husband wasn't going to give me money to do this. And I said, we've got to do this. This is going to change people's lives. And it has changed my life. It's not cured MS. It's not going to cure my MS. But my life is 100% different. I feel like I'm 20 years old on the inside now. So, okay, so that's about my history, and that's about kind of why I'm involved in LifeVantage. Now, again, I thought this was the most amazing thing in the world. I wanted to stand up and shout from a rooftop. And I thought every single person in the world that I told and shared this with was going to be as excited as I was. Not. And again, I've never told anybody that this is going to cure things. And I've never said that this is quick. I've been in other multi-level marketing businesses. Nothing is quick. If you own a McDonald's and you pay $1 million for a McDonald's, you don't get your money back for maybe even 2 or 4 years. This costs $2,000 in Canada for a platinum pack. Anyway, so that's kind of, is that my how, or is that? No, you're muted. You're muted. I can't hear you, Chris.
Am I unmuted?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. Well, yeah, that's how you got into LifeVantage. That's how your story starts.
Yeah.
Now the rest is, why did you buy the platinum pack? Why are you doing what you're doing?
Well, because I could feel it was helping my MS, and I am a lover.
That's what Protanum does.
Yes, and I'm a lover of people. In my grade 9 yearbook, I wrote that what I wanted to do when I grew up and what I wanted to be is I wanted to make the world a better place in the world for the people I loved and cared about. And that is how I live my life. That's how I've always lived my life.
So that's your purpose in life.
Mm-hmm. And I believe the universe, I believe the Lord, what anybody wants to call it. This was brought to me for 2 reasons. It was brought to me for myself and my health, and it was brought to me to share. Because there are a lot of people out there that don't know about this. And we've got the slide. I use this as like penicillin was 100 years ago. When antibiotics came out, people went, no, this isn't going to cure pneumonia. People are still going to die. Well, now we over-abuse antibiotics, but yet it has saved people's lives. I believe that's what Protandim and NRF2 is. It's the next thing, and we have it, and we're on the early stage. Now, I said I live in a 750 square foot house. This is a house I've rented for 32 years in Vancouver, British Columbia. I don't own a house. I don't own property. I never have. I was forced to retire from my employer before I wanted to. I was lucky enough to work for a company that had a pension, but I bring home $2,000 a month less than I did when I was working. And the money is important. And yes, I would love to own a house. Yes, I'd love to own more than one house so that people I know that don't have a lot of money, I could rent to them at a reasonable rate so that they could afford to live.
Yeah. See, that's it right there. That's what you can tell, that's what drives you, that's your purpose. That's the purpose of why you're doing it. We know how you got started. We know what it's doing for you and what it can do for people. But you have to make sure, in order for us to continue to, because I'll be honest with you, this business is a roller coaster. We're up, we're down, we're high, we're low. I can't tell you how many peaks and valleys I've been through in the over the 3 years that I've been in this business, And it's really tough when you see people come in the business, and I'm super happy for them that can, in a couple of years or a year, get up to that elite rank or something, and you're like, man, what have they done? But they've had built influence over a large amount of years before LifeVantage. So when they find something as amazing as LifeVantage and what we have, it's really simple for them to go back to the people and say, hey, listen, I got a great investment for you. They've already had built that trust. And it's kind of funny because in LifeVantage, when you continue to talk about your why, Tracy, and how you try to help people and you want to help, that's your belief, that's why you start. Then what you'll do is you'll start building the trust with people. because one of the things that I heard was kind of funny, but it's something we don't do enough. If we continue to tell her why and show where we believe in and build that belief towards like strangers, I'm sure you want to share with every person who has.
Oh, I talk to strangers way more than I talk to my family.
Correct. And
It's easier to talk to a stranger.
They are easier to talk to because we're not afraid of the outcome with strangers. We don't have to see them ever again. They walk away. With family, we have to see them constantly. And, and it gets a little awkward or uneasy sometimes when, you're trying to share something and then they get upset about it. Like they don't want to hear about it. And then like the next time you see them, they're like, do you want to talk? No, I want to talk. But they were saying how a 16-year-old girl who's lived in your neighborhood for 10 years, you're going out on a date and you have your child, and it's the most valuable possession we have is our kids. And you got a 16-year-old that's lived in the neighborhood for 10 years that or you have a 32-year-old lady who moves in and she's been living there for like 2 months, but has 10 years of babysitting experience. The majority of the people said they would go
hire the 16-year-old
instead of the 32-year-old with all that experience. Because of, they know they have that trust. So that, that's where we are with a lot of people. We think they want what we have and we're there, but they don't see our purpose. They don't see our why. And until we get that home, we can't build that trust with them. Like I was talking to Fred and Beth earlier, a couple of my distributors from the Philippines live in Thailand. I ran a Facebook ad, and I was able, over a course of 3 to 4 weeks, with what I believed in and what they read in my story and what they read on that ad and saw in that picture, it was their life. That's what they were reading. And that was their purpose as well. And that's that was their why they wanted to do what I was doing in LifeVantage. They just had to see how to do it, and what we have was worth it. We already had our whys. And it was so easy to get them to trust me then. I'm an outsider. I live across the globe. And for some reason, that story resonated with them. And it was my belief and my purpose. And it was the same as theirs. And when we start talking to people and we find those people that have that same drive, because that's what drives this whole business. If we don't have that and we're not working on that and we're not sharing that, we're not getting anywhere. And it's what keeps the ambition when the time's down. Like that roller coaster I was talking about, we get in that valley. If we don't have that and look back on that every single day, it's gone. That's why people quit. They come into it. Their purpose was money. That's it. They thought they could make a quick buck. They saw a product that had some great reviews and it worked well, and they could care less about what the product did. They just wanted to see how much profit they were going to make. The people that stay in this business and keep driving forward have such a bigger goal in life that, you find those type of people, and it'll do wonders for your business. It'll be amazing. So that's why I really wanted to just reach out tonight and talk to some people about this. And even another lady, she's getting hounded by her friends to join Jeunesse, the same company that Darren Jensen came from. And these are people she went to school with and has grown up 40 some years with these people. And somehow in 2 months, I got her to join LifeVantage instead of Jeunesse. And it was because, it was science that really helped. But you know what she said when she was on the 3-way phone call with us? She said that every time she talked to her friends, all they kept talking about was how much money they were making, how amazing their products was, try this, try this, try this. Just constantly bombarding her with it, okay? When she talked to me, she was going through a struggle at work. And I'm like, well, I got her through an ad. She reached out to me. I could do this one of two ways. I could talk to her about LifeVantage, or I could just shut it down and be the ear that she needs. She just needed someone to lean on. And she was going through a transition where her had new ownership coming in, and they were laying people off, and she was fearful for her job, that she's been there for 10 years and was at the top of the sales game. So that's all I did. And after I got done with listening to her, she wanted to join LifeVantage because of that reason. That reason right there is because her purpose is to help people and be kind to people and listen to people and give them what they need and want. And that's what my purpose was, with her. And it's, and her friends were just like money, 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 cha-ching. They just looked at her, and she even said it. They just looked at her and said, this lady can make me a lot of money because of her connections. And that's what she saw from those people. And that was a no-no. So if I didn't stick to my purpose, my why, and what I really truly wanted to do with this business is help people with their health, help people get, a better life for themselves. And I just was focused on the end result of getting that money, I would have never got these distributors ever. So we have to be sincere. We have to open up. We have to listen. We have to ask questions, and we have to stay on that why. So would you like to add anything else, Tracy, before I move on to Destiny?
I'm not where I wanted to be. I wrote, we do that little writing thing, and I was going to be a Pro 4 in like 6 months and blah, 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 blah.
It's good to have goals. You have to have deadlines.
Well, it is. But I mean, it's the biggest thing is I say to people that I know in LifeVantage, I said, look, I'm planting seeds, but I'm not planting seeds for annuals. I don't want flowers that are only going to bloom for 3 months of the year or 4 months of the year. I am planting blueberry bushes. And it takes a while for a blueberry bush to grow, but when it bears fruit, it multiplies, and it's worth it. So that's what I am doing. I am reaching out with passion, with conviction, with kindness, with heart. And I am going to grow a blueberry farm and be a Pro 10. I don't care how long it takes, but it will happen.
There's no time. There's no timeline. We pressure. One thing that I did speak about in Mike's training was the pressure. We put pressures on ourselves and put these deadlines on ourselves, and it causes too much stress. When stress starts to get high, the passion starts to die. And we got to really understand that there's a finish line, but there's no time limit on that finish line. We can, if you want to be a Pro 10 in 2 years, you want to be a Pro 10 in 10 years, you want to be a Pro 10 in 15 years. At the end of the day, you're all Pro 10s. It doesn't matter how fast you got there. You're all going to be in the same boat, making the same money, getting the same, you have the same amount of people you're helping. It doesn't matter. So I like to put deadlines on things. If I hit them, great. If I don't, no big deal. Because remember what John Maxwell said, we raise the bar, and we know we might not ever hit the bar, but if we sell ourselves short, like at a 4 when we're supposed to be at a 10, set that high, because even if we don't 10, we could reach at least a 7, because we're gonna reach a little higher and harder. That really resonated with me. Set my goals, not unattainable, but just on the edge. And I do that in my own business at Dent Wizard. We have these things called MITs. They're called most important tasks. Maybe that's something we do in LifeVantage, is create these MITs, these most important tasks for the month. And we get them for the quarter, and we have to follow them. We have to try to hit them. And then we have to open these up in front of the entire management group of the region. And believe me, we go in there and you think you're nervous. The first time I ever did it, I had like 1 achieve and 4 fails. And so it says fail, 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 achieve, fail. But I stretch my goals so far that if I don't get to them, I know I grow and the market grows. And so I may have to mark down a fail on that thing, but I know in the end, we actually achieved what we needed to achieve.
You actually did something.
We actually did something, correct. So I don't let them too short, but maybe that's something you do. Maybe your most important task every single month is 15 presentations. It's talk to X amount of people. Even if you're just planting the seeds, you start to do that. Practice on people, like Lisa was talking about, doing practice things. Maybe just practice on somebody if they don't want to do a presentation. Make those like your most important tasks for the month, and then see where you are at the end of it. See if you failed or achieved what you did, and then also note how your business has grown from that. Where you gradually go, and then then maybe push the bar the next month. If those were all you hit and they're easy to hit, then maybe just add some more things on there. Like maybe say, instead of 15 presentations, maybe put on 2 platinum packs, or 2 distributors or something like that, and then just see if you achieve those marks every month.
Thank you.
Could be a good baseline. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to mute myself.
All right. Thank you. And thank you again, Tracy, for sharing with us. Destiny, can you unmute yourself, or would you like me to unmute you?
I got it.
Hey, there she is.
Yeah. Hey.
How are you doing, Destiny?
Good.
So do you kind of understand what we're doing here as far as the call?
Yeah. So talking about our why. So, well, Fred was working on me for about 3 years, trying to tell me about Protandim and everything. And I kind of blew him off for 3 years. And well, my story is I was in the medical field for my entire life. So I worked for a chiropractor, worked for an ophthalmologist for like 13 years. And so I knew how to look at the research and everything. And I did. So I looked at, I'm just like, yeah, whatever, And, but the other thing was I had a medical history, like almost like an 80-year-old woman or something. It was pretty much, I'd had all kinds of surgeries, intestinal stuff and everything. And so I was taking probably 7 different medications a day, ridiculous. And in my mind, I was just thinking that this stuff is never going to work for me. So might be good for Fred, who's already in perfect health anyways, but not for me. And then one day he brought me the shampoo and that was all she wrote. So, I told Fred, it's like,
he's using it.
Well, today's not a good example. Okay. Cause I was not even planning on turning my video on today, but, but it's okay. So, so Fred brings me the shampoo, and, my hair was pretty much a representation of my life. It was a mess, and so he brings me this shampoo and I'm like, okay, this stuff works. And I'm going, gosh, wouldn't this be great if you could just put this on every ailment you had? And then I'm thinking, wait a minute, there's a pill for that. This stuff can work from the inside out. So then I really dove into the research and everything and found that it was, really great stuff. And what was my, I guess what really sold me was when I sent the information to the doctor that I used to work for, who is just a pessimist by nature. And so I thought, well, if there's something negative to be said, he'll say it, and he came back with, I'm so proud of you for getting involved in something so great. This stuff is wonderful. He's like, the research is rock solid. It's just, this is just the future. This is great. So that was like, wow, this is really something big for me. But Fred saw a need, in my life as far as for financial freedom and everything. He's my boss. I work for him, 6 days a week. And of course, he takes really good care of me. But he saw that, there's a potential for me to be able to do more with my life. And so, when I really started looking into this stuff, I told him, I said, you realize I go big, I'm probably going to leave, right? He doesn't care. He doesn't care. He just wants great things for my life, So anyway, it's a good boss to have. But I have kids and I have a life story that's a mess, like I said. And my thing is, I've never really saw myself as a business person, never really saw myself as someone that could sell anything. But what I have learned about myself is that, my life experiences and then the stuff that I've been through can really help people. And with this product and its benefits to helping people, there's a huge platform out there for me to be able to just do something great. And my thinking is, all the mess in my life, if it can be made into my message, if all of this was worthwhile because I have a story to tell and I have a life that's full of purpose and full of, just doing good for other people and a life that's, people can say, wow, look look what she did with her life. Look what she did with that mess, I just feel like it would make everything worthwhile. So my why is life that's me, and show my kids that mom, did something.
Yeah,
So
break it up a little bit right at the why.
Okay. Hey, can you hear me now?
I can hear you better. Yes.
Okay. So it's great to me about, when I really got into it, all the personal growth classes and everything with LV coaching. It was just solidified everything that I had, thought about it. So, I knew I was going to get into this and I was going to learn great things, do things in my life and everything. But the fact that there's there's so many resources that this company offers in order to grow yourself, and not just for the sales part of it, but just in general as a person. And those are things that I needed in my life also. So I've done a lot more of the personal growth than I have on the inviting and presenting, but everybody that I'm talking to tells me that that's a good thing, that a lot of people that don't work on the personal growth part, they hit a lot of roadblocks. So I'm like, okay, well, right now I'm just really working on a lot of different things in my life that I need to fix, and I want better health, and I want to have a great testimony. So it's great to me that I've got my entire household on the Pro Tandem. I live with a house full of pessimists that didn't want anything to do with this to begin with, and everybody just kind of gave it a shot just for my sake. And they already have great testimonies to tell. So it's really been incredible for me. So.
Isn't that the best when you have the pessimists and all of a sudden they get great results, because those are your people that are going to go share it with everybody and tell everybody about it.
Yeah, exactly.
They're going to grow your business. And honestly, Destiny, from what I understand, I hear that you were actually Fred's boss. So he works for you.
Besides Beth, he's got two of them. So,
so how many kids do you have, Destiny?
I have two girls.
Two girls. And are they very young?
17 and 9.
17 and 9. Yeah. So say all of a sudden you end up, I mean, you're never leaving Fred. Just to be clear about that.
He knows that. Never leaving Fred.
Life advantage, you're still with Fred.
Yeah.
Maybe what you do in life, he just won't be able to tell you what to do anymore.
Right.
But you'll still be working for him somehow, but now you're actually working for yourself. But
exactly.
So what is it? Say in 3 months, you're a Pro 8. Obviously, you're not working for Fred anymore. He's long gone.
Yeah.
What does it look like with you and your kids? What are you doing?
Gosh. Well, let's see. I don't know. With my oldest, she's got her list of 100 people. She's wanting to be a distributor already. She'll be 18 in December. So, I don't know. I would just like to have, I guess, more time with them. It's even when you get time, sometimes it's not quality time. So, I would love to be able to just spend some quality time that's not so rushed, so scheduled,
Sounds like a vacation.
Yeah, a vacation.
Where to?
Oh gosh, anywhere but here.
Yeah.
Probably a cruise somewhere. So that's why I wanted to talk a little bit more about this, because you definitely want the quality time. And I always ask people where's that quality time going to be? What's it going to look like? Where are you at? Are you on the beach? Are you on the cruise? Are you in Europe? Or, if you can kind of take the steps to get further and further into your why, it really gets you a little bit more excited and gives you kind of more of a vision of where you want to get to. So when things do start to get a little bit rough, you just remember that. What would it be like? I mean, maybe your 18-year-old's not there, but what would it look like if you're with your 9, 10-year-old and you're on this quality vacation and you guys are doing this and you're waking up and just exploring things and creating memories? I mean, you can't do that. You can't do that with your regular job. I had some guys saying, I like my job.
I love what I'm doing. Why would I want to do this? And I'm
Oh,
like,
I love mine too.
I'm like, you don't have to say just because Fred's here. It's all right. You can say what you want.
Oh no, well, so the reason why I was driving when we were first on the call was I went to go check on our U-Hauls. So we have U-Hauls being returned. So I was making my second trip up to the office today, you know, but I do it because I want to. You know, I could have waited till tomorrow morning, but I'm like, no, those are my babies. I have to go check on them.
Yeah. So I asked this guy, like, he's like, he loves his job, and I'm just like, there has to be something that you would rather do than your job every day. And he's like, to come to think of it, if I could just wake up and go play golf every day, that would be the life. And I said, that's it right there. What if you created an income in the next 3 to 5 years that allows you just to wake up and go play golf every day?
Right.
And, we got somewhere then,
Yeah. Well, from, I guess for me, I don't really have a lot of hobbies, and so that's one of these things where I feel like this whole experience is going to help me to learn a lot more about myself. So like right now, I can't picture doing anything else. Like work is my job, and it's also my fun. It's everything that about me is my job. And so I'm excited about learning new things about myself that show me, things I would like to be doing with my, free time. And I like to work, but I would love to work when I wanted to,
Bingo.
So like, I'll never leave Fred, but whoever we put in my chair, I'll be there right behind them at some point. I'd love to just be able to pop in when I want, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's great. Yeah, that's really good stuff. And I really hope everything, everyone you run across sees the vision of this and gets involved, on so many levels. I met Fred in Salt Lake City, and he was just great to be around. He was real fun to talk to. He's a great guy. You're definitely hooked up with someone who's really good. And I feel like he's definitely a person that would value his employees.
Oh yes, he does. He and Beth, I swear, they were on vacation last week. I can't live without them. They are like my motivation for everything. They, I don't know a day that goes by that Beth doesn't tell me, Destiny, you're full of greatness, and I'm like, thank you so much. I needed to hear this today. So it's just wonderful. But going back to it being important to explore these things about your whys to make it more fun. One of the personal growth things that I did with the life management, the LV coaching, was the bucket list, and it talks about the importance of a bucket list. And so I've been doing that, and it was really hard to do at first, was to make the bucket list. But now I'm kind of diving in and finding, just new things to put on there, and it does make it a lot of fun, And some of the stuff you put on there is kind of silly, but it's like, hey, when you really think about it, it's a big deal, So I'm having a lot of fun.
It is a big deal because just today I got to spend the whole day in the pool with my daughter, and it was amazing. It was a lot of fun. It was relaxing, but think about the things that you'll be able to just surprise. If I was in a position that this was replacing my income, the days like you could just wake up and surprise them and take them somewhere and see, the happiness and excitement on their faces and stuff like that. It's just something I really want to do, and I hope I can achieve that, before we get to a certain age here where she's moving on into the teenage stage and she doesn't want anything to do with dad anymore.
Yeah. Yep. I think in order to my 17-year-old, I had to probably just, one of my things on my bucket list is just take her shopping to buy whatever she wants, That's probably what I'll have to do to hook her to go do something, meaningful.
Yeah.
But she's one of my inspiring, people in my life too. So she gives me the most grief, but then again, she stays on me the most about working on myself too. So take the good with the bad with the teenagers. That's for sure.
Yeah, this business will definitely help you in your personal growth, like you're talking, because I walk into dealerships anymore, and it was tough in the beginning to hear no, especially when it was with people that I've given sound advice to before when I started running. people started running a year later. What are you using? How does it work? It works great. What kind of shoes? What do you have to do? Everything I told them, it benefited them and helped them in a way. And they, when I shared LifeVantage in this product, they wanted to challenge me constantly. And I mean, one guy took a solid 15 months before he finally started seeing, like you said, Tracy, planting the seeds. They were there, and all of a sudden, something I talked about with endogenous and exogenous antioxidants triggered something he heard somewhere. And that is what led to him to look deeper into it. A couple of weeks ago, I talked about the buddy. He didn't want it. He was really sick, but his dog was his life. And he saw the veterinarian, webinar, and it clicked with him. Wow, dogs can't tell you. There's no placebo effects. It's working. It's got to work. Now I want it. I mean, it's just weird how little triggers will catch, and sharing some information with one of my buddies I work with to help his daughter. His daughter was struggling with allergies real bad. And I said, you got to get her off the dairy. I guarantee you there's some sort of reaction with the dairy. And he did a little test and started taking milk away from her and switching it out with almond milk. And she was asking me, it was tasting weird. And so, I don't know, maybe the cow's different or something, just making up some kind of lie to get her to continue on the almond milk. And the allergies just decreased and hardly were even there anymore. And, these are things that I heard and listened to. So now it's kind of like, hey, this guy knows what he's talking about. You got a good probiotic? I really could use a probiotic. And now he's on Nerf 2 and probiotic, and it took a year, so you just got to keep your focus. These whys are our compass. They're our guides. It's our path, and we have to have them, or else we're just going at this blind and we're never going to get anywhere. We're going to be going here. We're going to be going there. We need that map. We need that trail. Like your GPS has that blue line that's showing you to be on that road. And that's what this is. And we got all these other roads to go off onto, but we don't want to get off those roads. So if there's anybody else, I know we're about 45 minutes in. If there's anybody else that wants to unmute and just share anything and talk about their why, just go ahead.
Hi.
Hello, Nancy.
Yeah, I'm Nancy.
Hi, Nancy. Nice to meet you.
It's a pleasure to meet you. I was hesitant to even be involved in this call. I've been involved in multi MLMs before, and my friend Jane Anderson, who's on this call, is actually my angel who introduced me to LifeVantage and Pro Tandem, and she's been very consistent and steady with everything. And I've known about this for a couple of years through her, but because of my freakazoid not wanting to get involved with MLMs again, I didn't really reach out to her to get any information about Pro Tandem until a month ago. I had a health crisis. I had a situation where I experienced heart failure. And I was in the hospital and learned about this oxidative stress, this stress-related cardiomyopathy. And it was then I reached out to Jane because I'd done some research on this thing and found out this was due to oxidative stress. And so I reached out to Jane. It's like, how can this help? What does this have to do with my situation? And she was right on it and sent me some links about oxidative stress. And so I've been a sponge about this because I want my health back. And I'm excited about this. I am a new distributor. I jumped on board after ordering my first bottle of Nerf 2. And I'm going to be forever a part of this. And I've already got 2 sisters as customers. They're excited too. And you talk about the why. Jane got me where I am here today. And she's awesome. And she's been very not pushy with me because I can't do pushy. I'll run and scream if people push me. And she's been wonderful. And the why, I told Jane, I said, I'm always looking for information. I'm very open-minded. I study, I read, I research, not just because of what happened a month ago, but that's just been part of my life, looking for things to help me and to help others. Because if I have some information that somebody needs, I will hand it to them, I'll give it to them, but they have to use it or not. That's their decision, what they're gonna do with it, not mine. But
Absolutely.
My sometimes it can be a curse because I care so much about people. And that's the driving force in this, is because I care about people, and that won't ever change. And I know what this can do. I'm constantly on YouTube. I'm reading articles. I'm going over and over some of the videos so I can get more and more information in me. I want to know, as I told Jane, the science part of this. The money part of it isn't even there. I just want to help people. And if things come along where it recompenses me, awesome. But that's not my main goal. It's way back here somewhere. I just want to learn what I can about Protandem and all the other products, which I'm using several of them right now, and I'm excited about it. So this is a new path for me. And I'm a 63-year-old widow, and I don't want to go back to work since this heart thing. And but I want to incorporate being that lifetime distributor of LifeVantage and all their products that they have available. So whatever comes down the pike at advantages financially, I would like to have it as a home. I've been bouncing around for 11 years since my husband died, and I'm in my 15th address in 8 years, and I want to be stable somewhere so I can have home for my children and my grandchildren to come visit. And so I think that's my ultimate goal, if anything really good comes out of this for me. So I appreciate you letting me talk and share. It's been an honor and a pleasure, and I thank Jane. She's awesome, and she's my angel.
Well, Nancy, I'm really glad that you decided to take the leap and join LifeVantage and get on these products, because they do an amazing job. And health, we need our health, and you're not going to be able to enjoy your grandbabies, and even looking for your address. At least here at LifeVantage, you found your home.
Amen.
And every single person on this call is now a partners of yours that can help you out at any time that you need something. And these calls that Mike and Lisa do every week are very, very beneficial. They connect you with great amount of leaders. They connect you with people and stories, and there's always something or someone who you can connect your circle to that can really help you grow your business and make people really understand. And I'll tell you one thing, just from being a new distributor, and you've been in MLM, so you probably already know this, but what you're doing, becoming kind of obsessed into the product and the videos and the research, is something I did. I mean, I was having people at my presentations asking me where my practice is, and I didn't have a practice. I'm just a dent wizard guy, And, I'm talking all these medical terms because I'm listening to I was listening to the Dr. McCord videos. I was listening to all these other doctors in LifeVantage talk, and the way they talk, and just I soaked that all in. And then I thought I had to do that, and I thought I had to tell everybody. And I thought, because I knew all that stuff, I didn't need anybody else in LifeVantage to tell me how to do it or what to do. And I was constantly going out telling people and doing my own presentations, and I wasn't getting anywhere. And I realized two things. One, you have to just be the messenger and let somebody else be that message. Let them tell the story, because everybody always listens to that third-party validation better. Okay. And then the other thing is, no matter how much you learn and take in scientifically and things that you learn about this product, you always have to keep it on a third grade level. You have to find a way to talk to people that they're going to understand this. And I think it was in Indianapolis. We had an EA. It was back a couple years in February. It was the funniest thing I've ever watched, but the most informative thing I ever watched. They had 3 doctors and 3 regular distributors. And they said, now tell me what Protandim does in a doctor's term, and the doctors would talk it. And then they did it to just regular, normal distributors like us who aren't doctors and gave the way that their answers were. And it was so amazing. And a lot of us understood both, but that's where we are. We are talking about something that has so much science and so much backing in these patents and proof. We feel like we have to learn all that in order to get this message across, and we don't. We just need to get it into simple terms so people understand. And just basically, I say, hey, man, do you want to live longer and prevent disease? And if they say yes, then I say, take a look at this information.
Okay.
And then I just send them to somebody. Let them ask questions and let somebody else answer them. And when you do that, it's so simple. And you don't get frustrated, and you don't lose your contact list, or if you do, and you find yourself, because we all do this, we all start talking about the product, and not really too much about the business. But if you find yourself kind of going into that sales role and trying to close everybody on your own, and it's not working, just go back to them and say, I'm sorry, I messed up. There's a right way and a wrong way of doing this, and this information is too important that you can't hear this. I just want to connect you with somebody on a call. And just simple steps like that will be super helpful for you in the beginning, because I think everyone in this call has made every mistake that I'm talking about. And if they didn't, they're lying. I see you shaking your head, Fred. No, you totally did. I know you did.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's it. Thank you so much, Nancy.
I appreciate that input. Thank you so much.
Yes, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Anybody else before we end up closing the call up? I see that Lisa Huey jumped on, and she's grown a beard. And
you like my beard?
I do, Lisa, and your voice got a little bit manly.
Hi, Chris.
Hey.
Oh, there she is.
Hey, Chris, thank you so much for doing the call. I just want to say that it's super encouraging to, like, we were at a conference, actually a concert, a Michael Jr. conference. And those of you guys know, I played Michael Jr.'s video a while back on the why and the what, and Chris did a great job tonight of showing, your why and your what. And I think when you have a real super understanding of your why and your what and what you're willing to do, what every single person talked about, it makes your clarity and your vision and your purpose that much easier to understand. And so I just wanted to say great job, and thank you for everybody who shared tonight. Like, it just encouraged me. Like, we were listening to the call. We didn't get on until 9 o'clock, but we listened to the last half hour. But I just wanted to say, Chris, with his fly new haircut, it did really well, because I think he gets his haircut so it makes him look thinner, since he doesn't eat meat. But that's you guys know that Chris and I we love to pick on each other. He picks on me more than I pick on him, but every once in a while I gotta throw some things in there. He's really good. If you guys get to know him outside the personal level, he's one of the funniest guys ever. He just makes people laugh. And so thanks for doing the call tonight, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for everybody who's there.
No problem. Thank you for having me tonight. I hope I brought some sort of value to everybody tonight. I hope that everybody is
Quantranon.
Yeah, see, that dude is one of the flyest football players in Toledo, and he doesn't
in his own mind. Hey, while we're on here, Chris, you said you like to call people out. How's Q doing with all those interviews on his 3,000 Facebook group? How's that going?
Why doesn't Q just unmute himself and
answer?
Tell us how that's going.
How's that account? And wasn't it Q that said for us to hold him accountable publicly when we were at the LVA?
And LVA, and it's been 2 weeks now.
Having people on. And guys, how many of you would love to have a 3,000 plus Facebook page with a group with 90% of the people you don't know? They're just people that join your group every single month. How many of you would like to have that? I'm raising my hand. I got
yeah.
I mean, Q, what's up, bro? I'm not going to answer. Did you unmute him, Chris?
I was kind of hoping he was going to unmute himself, but it doesn't look like he's going to.
All right. Well, we'll just keep him accountable by that. But yeah, guys. Thanks again, Chris. You can finish up the call. Great job.
All right, Linda, do you want to say something? I see your unmute button's off.
Yeah, it was a good call, and it was great hearing from the speakers sharing from their heart. And I'm just rooting for everybody. Their hearts are in the right places. Look forward to seeing whoever's going to Kansas City, seeing you there, Tracy, and anybody else going. So keep going. Keep at it.
Thank you, Linda.
You're welcome.
All right, Tracy, thank you so much. I saw your message in the chat. Appreciate that. Thank you, Fred and Beth. Thank you, Carla. Nancy, please don't be a stranger. Hopefully we'll see you more on these calls and help you out whenever you need it.
I will be back. Tonight was awesome.
And invite your friends, guys. Invite your teammates and your other distributors. We'll be here.
All right.
Good job, Chris.
All right, guys. Well, that will end this week's call. And next week, Mike Huey will be back on the mic. And he will